Hey guys, this is E with Scrapbooking with Me, and as you see in front of you, in front of who? I have a piece of Tim Holtz tissue paper. Now, this stuff in a roll is pretty expensive, so I tend to use it very, very sparingly. As you can see, I have just torn little bits and pieces off of it. But I thought today we might try to make our own. So grab out your stamps and your ink. So this one is black on white, and then I did one that is brown on white. Now this is not completely dry. I just stamped it just a few minutes ago, and I used VersaFine sepia on here. So I'm going to lay this aside and let it dry. I messed up a couple of little places because I smeared it, but that's okay. I will still use this. To me, that looks fine. I mean, look at, I don't have a problem in using that I made. So I'm going to lay this aside so that it can dry, and we're going to start on another one. Now, this is just deli paper. That's all in the world it is. But you can use whatever type paper you have. If you have some freezer paper, whatever that is, if you have some of that, or just some white paper, whatever you want to stamp on, whatever you have in your stash, just grab it out. I just happen to have deli paper in abundance, so that's what we're going to do. Now, I have just drug out a variety of stamps because I have quite a few Tim Holtz stamps, but you don't have to have these. Use what you have in your stash. Just mix them up, and you'll be surprised at how good everything looks. So I'm going to start off with this one. This is just it's like an old letter script type stamp. Now, I will tell you that I will have ink all over me when this is all over. I always do. But that's just the way I stamp. I get it everywhere. I am not a clean stamper. So if that bothers you, then you could put gloves on, I guess, if you want to. I just go wash it off. It'll come off good with good old soap and water. Now I'm just going to start in the corners. I'll just stamp it down. It doesn't matter to me if it's sketchy. It doesn't matter if it stamps complete. I don't care. And I've got my little mat down. This is a heat resistant mat, and it's also very good for stamping because that ink just sits right on top of it, and you can wipe it right off. And I'm not going to worry about wiping it off each time. I just wanted to show you that it would come off like that. Now, I'm going to try to keep this in frame for you. I'm going to start off with my biggest stamps. That way it'll fill up the areas a little bit easier. And I'll try to link all of these below. I think I have the names of all of them. And this is just the VersaFine black ink. So we'll do this one in black. And let's see. I don't care if it's right side up or upside down. I don't know why I'm looking. Okay. Some of them stamp really hard down there, and then others you might need to stamp a little bit lighter if you want to. And see, this one is just going to keep giving, and I don't care if that ink gets on the back. That doesn't bother me. So I'm just going to do a little bit on the edge right there. And we'll just stamp another piece here while we've got this one inked up real good. Let me pull that over a little bit. I'll just go ahead and add this on this one. No use in wasting that ink, is it? Now, I try to stamp up and down and right and left, but sometimes I get a little wild with my stamping, especially with these big stamps, because it's hard for me to hold this big thing. But just do what you can. It doesn't matter. As you can see on his, they go in all different directions. Just all mingled up. Now, which other one was I going to grab? I think I'll do this one. This is it's got a butterfly on it. See, it's got some scripts and a butterfly. And I'll try to take this one to the pad. Let's see if that works pretty good. Alright. Now, I'm not good at random stamping. I will tell you that. I'll admit that. Because I am I'm a very visual person. And I like for things to be precise. So, random stamping to me is pretty hard. Because I want to stamp it all like it's supposed to be. All in line and all that kind of stuff. But this, you don't want to do that. You just want to do some random stamping. Okay. Alright, let's see which other one are we going to use. Let's see, I need another big one. Now this one, the sticky is off the back of it. So I can't really get that one to stick down. So we're just going to ink it up. And I'll pull it back over in the frame in just a minute. We're just going to ink it up and then I'll use my hands to stamp it. Let's see. Let's go. And turn your paper around like you need to. Just remember that when you put this ink down, it is not dry. It is wet. So just kind of be a little bit cautious with that. And like I said, I make a big old mess, but that's okay. That's alright. Melina is so precise at her stamping and everything is so clean, and I never have been able to stamp like that. I just make big messes. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and stamp on this one just to get that ink off of there. Use it up. There we go. Alright. Now somebody asked me how I clean my stamps, and I'll show you in a minute what I use. I don't know. Well, I know it's not available. No, I won't say that. I don't know if it's available through Stampin' Up anymore, but I know it's available on Amazon. I found it on Amazon. And they're not very expensive, and they're fantastic for using to clean up your stamps real quick. Because I'm a type person that I like things to be done quick. You didn't know that about me, did you? Okay, let's see. Do we want to go that way? That way. Let's go that way with that one. And it doesn't matter if they've got frames around them like that one does. That's okay, because some of his had frames around them too. But we just want to get all this big area filled in first. Then we'll come back and do other things. And you can take a lot more time with it and think about it a little bit more than I am and make this a lot better. I'm going pretty quick because one, because of the video, and two, because I don't know why. I don't have patience. I guess you could say that's the reason. But you can do very, very slow and easy, and make sure that you get all of them in the right place, that kind of thing, if you want to. That's not me. I'm going to stamp this one. I'm going to turn it around, stamp it upside down, since I've got that other writing right there. And then, let's see, I think that's all of that one I want. Let's go ahead and put some Stampin' off over here. There we go. And that'd probably stamp off again, but I'm going to lay it down for right now. Alright, we have this little guy. And this is from the Field Notes. We do have some of these stamps in the store. I just don't know which ones. I'll try to link them, as I said, as I get to them. Alright, put that one right there. Need another right here. I just gotta try to go back and fill in some different areas. Right there. Okay. And then pull this over. So really you could keep, if you've got room on your desk, which I don't, you could keep 2 or 3 pads going, or pieces of paper, and just keep stamping from one end to the other. Now I'm going to use this one, and this is it's just a little round circular stamp. It's like a post office stamp. And I'm just going to put that in some different areas. There we go. And see, that's kind of similar to his that he's got on here. And then, let's see, on the other side of this one, let me go ahead and stamp this off. Because I will use this piece, since I'm not taking a lot of time with it, I'll use this piece as just, you know, to tear little pieces of, which I'll do that on this one too, but, whoops. See, I told you I get ink everywhere. Now, we're going to use one of those little stamps that, it's like an airmail stamp. Let's see. Let me find the location. I'm going to put it right there. Yes, like that. And then where else? I told y'all yesterday you was going to be surprised and I was going to get very messy. I had on a little jacket and I took it off because I was getting ink all over the sleeves. I was like, oh my goodness, Edith. Okay, put another one right there. And I try to stamp in threes. I don't know. That's just my thing. Let's go ahead and stamp that one off before I put it up. I like to use as much of that ink as I can. Okay. Now we have this word and it just says destination. It's just a big old word that we'll use somewhere. There we go. It's a very clear word, so it stamps good. Oh, I like that. Like that brightness of it. Put another one right here. There we go. Hope you guys can see this. I'm trying my best to stay in frame. So this is a pretty big piece of paper. I think it's about, I think this is 12 by 12 or maybe 13 by 13. Okay, got that one stamped off. And I'm gonna lay that over there. And then I'm going to put a few little numbers on there and this one's going to be finished. Well, I'm not going to, yeah, I'm going to put one or two numbers, not many. I'm going to put one right there maybe. And then, let's see, do one right here. And maybe one right there. Okay. Right. Now there's one more stamp that I like to use. This one just says admit one. He had one like that on his, I think, somewhere. No, maybe not. Anyway, we're going to use it on ours. And this is, you know, you could stop here. I'm getting it quite full, so you could definitely stop here. This is just my little want to keep going thing. Okay, put one right there. And we'll put one right here. That way. Alright, so let's go ahead and stamp this off over here. So there is our tissue paper. Now let me pull it in frame. There we go. Now look at this one. Now his was done with a machine, so you have to keep that in mind. So there's that one, and then there is ours. Now I have more stamping on mine, but I like that because when you tear a piece off, you don't have any white places. So whatever stamps you have, use those. They're going to be fine. Believe me, just keep mixing them, turning them one way or the other, and they will work perfectly. Okay, I'm going to lay this aside and let this dry. Now I have just used, I'm using the stamps that already had ink on them to finish this one off. I didn't add any more ink. Just stamping everything off. So like I said, I will use this one most definitely. So I'm just getting as much ink off of the little stamps as possible. So see, you can even use them like that. If you don't have big stamp pads, then just use them with your wrapped around your finger. That'll work. That will work. Okay. Alright, I think we've got that one filled in enough. So there is that one. We'll lay that one aside. Okay, now I don't have, this is not a wet wipe, but if you had a wet wipe, all you have to do is wipe this off with a wet wipe, and it's cleaned up. I don't have one, so I can't really get it all off of there, so we're just going to lay that aside for a minute. And I'll show you what I use. This is a Stamp It Up. It's called a Stampin' Scrub. I've had it for many, many, many years. As a matter of fact, I probably need to replace it. Or replace the pads anyway. One side you put water on. And then the other side, because mine it's starting to smell a little bit funky, so I'm sure that's because it's so old. You can clean it with soap and water, but you know I'm not going to do that. Now, I just put my stamp pads, or stamping, I just put my stamps back on there, on a pad, on a block, I should say. And then I just rub them on that side. You can see it puts the water and a little bit of suds on there. Suds come from where, I don't know. And then it cleans it right up. Rub it on this side and it dries it. And there you go. That one's done. And I just keep doing that. You don't have to put them back on the block, but to me it's a little bit easier. That block is too big though. Put it on this block. This has just got little fuzzy teeth on it. Now this one has been stained for a while, so all that's not going to come off of it. You just rub it in different directions to get in all of the little grooves. When it's cleaned up good enough. This one, you can see how, I mean, it's stamping on there still. It's got ink on it. Whoops. That one doesn't have any sticky on the back. My stamps are old, so some of them don't have sticky on the back anymore. So I just rub them on there with my finger. And there you go. And you can take a little bit more time than I do and clean them up really perfect if you want. I just get the main part of the ink off. You don't even have to get the ink off your stamps. A lot of people think that if you don't clean your stamps up, it's gonna be bad for them. Well, some inks are actually good for your stamps, believe it or not. They condition them so that they don't dry out. But to get the main part off, that's all I do. Alright. And of course, you know, if your stamp doesn't stick anymore to your stamp blocks, you can just clean your the back of your stamp real good. And if it still doesn't stick, then you can use a little bit of sticky tape and put on the back, and it'll clean it up. It will stick again. Okay. That one doesn't want to rub. Okay, let's see about this one. I have to have a little bit bigger block for that one. That's all I do. And like I said, I don't know that Stamp It Up makes these anymore. They may. I haven't dealt with them in a long time. But you can look, and if they don't, I will link one down that I found on Amazon. It's basically just like it and a whole lot cheaper. Believe me, I paid a little bit of money for this one years ago. Okay. These long ones are harder to clean up, especially when they don't stick, but that's good enough. Alright. Well, I say these big ones are really harder to clean up than any of them. Usually on these big ones, I just use my old towel. I don't really use this that much on the big ones because they're kind of hard to get in here and clean. And I usually make a bigger mess with them trying to clean them up than I do if I just wipe them off with a rag. Alright, let's do this one. Don't know if it'll stick or not. Yep. See there? This one is really inky, and I know it doesn't stick to a block. I need to put some tape on the back of him. And what I don't get off on here on these big ones, I'll just use my I've got an old rag that I use to clean this up. There's also chamois. I have some chamois too Just don't have them out here right now. But I'll link the chamois and the stamp cleaner down below. Works pretty good. If you got a lot of stamps to clean though, your arms get tired. Or mine do. That's good enough. Good enough. And look at me. Oh me, all of that will clean up. Don't worry about that. I don't worry about my hands. I can clean them up with alcohol and they'll be fine. Alright, I think that's all of my stamps. And I go ahead and wet my blocks a little bit. And then I take my towel and clean my blocks up. Because I get ink all over my blocks too. If you clean your blocks with alcohol, it really helps them. And then you can just put this back up. Or you can go wash it out like I'm supposed to do. Alright guys, that is the video. I hope you enjoyed it. It was very short, but I hope you had fun. I did. I had fun and I got really messy. Now I'm going to try to put all these stamps back in the correct order. So we'll see if I can do that. I have no clue. But just wanted to show you that. That was something I had on my mind yesterday, and I wanted a couple of sheets of that tissue paper so that I could use it in an upcoming project. And we will talk to you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Bye-bye.